Hi everybody, this is Alina Yugas and
Hi, my name is Michael Oden.
from Final Step International. We wanted to come by today and just bring something up to awareness. You know, we all say we know, but I guess we really never put too much thought into it. And you know, people have been reaching out to us, asking us if there's something that we could do for first responders. You know, and we do offer a free consultation. But one of the things is yesterday, one of my coaches from a cohort sent us a link to a story that she read and she saw and she thought about us, and also our therapeutic approach, the needs-based method. And so it's about the doctors and nurses. You know, we do know that they've sworn, you know, to be doctors and nurses, but this is a pandemic and everybody thought this was going to be something that was going to be very temporary, and it has turned out to be a lot longer. So the article is about
It's about a chief nursing officer from California Hospital wrote a story about, you know, how it's a disaster, how the doctors and nurses are stressing out. You know, they're putting in 15-hour days. They're seeing death almost every other day. You know, they're witnessing people dying in their arms, and it's really taking a toll on them. And what's going to happen is when this is over, as we're doing it now, and when this is over, whatever that is, there's going to be a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder that's going to
affect them. It's going to affect the nurses and the doctors.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to happen after it, and it's happening now.
Yeah.
So they're getting emotionally and mentally and spiritually worn down. So they asked us, you know, to take a look into it, to see what we can do to help, to get them grounded and maybe get them off the emotional hook to a degree where they can function.
Right, because one of the things that they were saying is not only the fact that they're seeing death on a daily basis and thousands of cases coming in with COVID. The thing is that there's those people that do pass away without any family members. And that's one of the things that was really hitting some of the nurses hard, because they have to be that emotional support for that patient, you know, because when they have families, you're able to do that FaceTime and whatnot to be able to connect them with their family. But when they don't have any family, then that's when the nurses are taking that even harder to stress. And sometimes they say that when they got off work, you know, they can't even sleep because of the amount of death that they've seen in a day. Now, most of you guys know that I have, you know, in my previous life, I used to work in the medical field. And when you say 16 hours for nurses, it's nothing, because, you know, they eat 16 hours really, but you only do it for 4 days a week, and then you're off for 3 days. But now they're doing this for days and days at a time. The traveling nurses will spend months without seeing their family. So one of the things that I do want Michael and I to talk about is the meaning of trauma. Because, you know, when you say trauma, people expect like for it to be this enormous thing. And some people, you know, not everybody, what's the word that I'm looking for? Everybody doesn't.
Everybody processes trauma differently.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Process it.
So trauma doesn't mean PTSD because you've been at war. Trauma means something that your brain is thinking it's attacking them. So that's a traumatic experience. Did I say that right?
I don't know. Wow.
That your brain thinks it's attacking the brain or attacking your body.
Well, it is post-traumatic stress disorder in wartime. Well, this is wartime. We're fighting a disease, a virus that is killing people.
And it's unknown to us.
Yes, and so to me, if I had my simple definition of trauma, it's when we don't have control over a situation, and your body gets shocked, and it gets zapped, and your organs, your nerves, the synapses, all that internal physiological things get shocked, right? You can have a micro trauma at work. Somebody could drop something and it shakes you up. Someone honks the horn behind you. That's a trauma. Okay. However, it's a different kind of trauma. When we have no control over this situation and it keeps hitting you every day, hours at a time, and there's no end in sight, so to speak, it wears you down. It wears the body down. It wears the emotional integrity down. Physically, it wears you down. So because you're in the ring, you don't really experience it because you're going 100 miles an hour. It's when the trauma stops, it's when the event stops, and now we have to process it. So everything's shut down. Now your body is really going, well, what just happened? I was gearing myself up for this trauma, and now it's not here anymore. And this is where people go into shock.
Right. And and also when we first heard about that doctor in New York that committed suicide, her dad's also a doctor, and it was like, oh my goodness, that was a one isolated incident. And nobody really knows what she went through. Everybody was talking about, her dad was talking about that she was just such a loving, caring person. Mm-hmm. That could have been exactly why she couldn't take it anymore. She was seeing so many people dying on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So
it's processing that event. Some people can analyze it, left side, left brain, and go, wow, this is what's happening, and this is the way it's going to be. The other side, lower right brain, emotional side, says, my God, I wish I can do more. I wish I could help everybody. I'm totally connected. I'm immersed with the event. Therefore, I'm helpless and hopeless and I'm powerless. Those are the three things that can cause an individual to really lose sight of what they're doing and take drastic measures in coping with it.
Right. So this is really, it's our way of reaching out and trying to help the nurses, the doctors, the MAs, those in the frontliners, like they're calling them. And right now, if you know of someone, you might notice that they come home with some stories or whatnot, but it's going to happen when it stops. I went through that also. As a caretaker, you just go, and nothing, you don't even think about it. It's just really second nature to you. But then when that stops, that's when your body's like, wait a minute,
You are the perfect example.
I am the perfect example for this.
You did that. You were going 100 miles an hour for 20-something years.
Yeah. And so, so if you do know somebody that is a first responder and nurses, doctors, whoever, and they are looking for somebody to help them through this transition, and also once, hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, once it's over, please tell them about us, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help them. And so I think this is going to be something we're going to start working on. Yeah. We're going to start talking about trauma more often. Also because, people do believe that when you tell somebody, you had a traumatic experience as a child, people are like, oh no, I wasn't, abused, this and that, but it's just so many other things that is part of trauma. So any words of wisdom to end this?
There's going to be a time where this ends, and there's going to be a time where a lot of these doctors and nurses and people in the hospitals who are seeing the things we don't see are going to need to decompress. They're going to need to process it and come to peace at what has happened and not blame, shame, or criticize the efforts they did regarding fighting this pandemic. We have to understand we're all human, and we can only do so much. And what we can do, just remember that if you're doing the best you can, and you gave it all you got, then that's all we can do. And there are times where things aren't going to work out the way we want them, right? So we need to take in consideration who is alive in our world, who can we protect, who can we, lean on, because, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but life is for the living. And if you're alive and you have a family and you have coworkers and you have people you work with, let's start, being safe for them, as we give help to the people who need it. So we look forward to helping as many people. May I tell you, I live for this stuff. So please allow us to use what we have to offer. I have a lot of stuff to offer. So let's help the people.
So once again, Alina and Michael from Final Step International, and we are here to assist you and anyone that you know of that during this time, during this crisis, during, pretty much whatever it's going in your life that you need help with. You know, we're all over social media, Final Step INT, or Final Step International, Alina Yugas, Michael Oden. So reach out. We would love to help you.
Please.
Thank you so much. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.